Melody and I have arrived at City of Rock State Park in New Mexico. Let's go check it out. City of Rock State Park is located about 30 miles north of Deming, New Mexico. And Melody and I are here. It's $5 day use per vehicle if you don't have an annual pass. If you have an annual pass, it also gives you a substantial camping discount. We're going to be checking out the campground and showing you the best campsites today. But check this pricing out. Normal pricing, $10 per night, $14 with electric hookups. That's very affordable. But if you have the annual pass, and the New Mexico annual pass for an out-of-state resident is $225, we're not going to be in New Mexico long enough to make that pass worth our while. But eventually, we're going to come out and spend some time in New Mexico and get that pass. Look at this. A campsite with electric hookups with the annual pass, $4 a night. Yeah, I can't beat that, folks. Well, folks, I tell you, this campground looks pretty darn neat. Here's a map. And so we're going to go on a walking tour of the campground. We're going to do the whole loop. I'm only showing you the best campsites. Let's get to it. Here's the visitor center. They have a gift shop and flush toilets in there. And then immediately adjacent to the visitor center, you have these rock formations, and some of the campsites even wedge up in there among the rocks. There are a number of different hiking trails. One of the hiking trails even goes up through the rocks. So let's get to it. I think the first camping area we'll check out is in the center of your screen, and then we'll start making the loop in and among the rocks. There are also campsites. Let's get to it. This is campsite E5. You can get just about any size rig in that site. You have a picnic table, covered picnic table, and a fire ring. You have water. See what kind of electric hookups we have. Whoa, 30 and 50 amp electric service. Site E5 going down the book, folks. And there's another vantage point of site E5. E6 is another keeper, folks. Site E6 going down the book. Not all of these sites are level. I'm only showing you the best campsites. These are sites that I'd want to come back to camp in. This site here is E4. It's got a slope on it, so I'm not recommending it. But if you have a smaller camping configuration and you want to be off to the side by yourself, E4 may work for you. And I can't recommend any of these other sites right in this batch right here because of the slope of the sites. They do have pit toilets strewn throughout the campground. There's one in your center of your screen there. The flush toilets are down there, located by the visitor center. Melody and Milo are waiting for me to take a walk through these rocks. The restrooms at the visitor center have sinks, flush toilets, and 2 different showers. This last shower is a handicap shower. Good to know. And here's the road. You can see the visitor center back off to your left there. And this is the road that loops around the City of Rocks. Some of these campsites squirrel right up against the rocks. There's a nice little seating area over here. Let's go check that seating area out. Milo's looking for a campsite. Melody said she would camp here. So it must be pretty good. There's an observation point that overlooks the, in fact, there's a hiking trail that goes up there. You can drive up there as well. It looks back down on the city rocks. But it is pretty countryside out here. But coming up, heading north on the highway from Deming, you never suspect that you're going to run into a clump of rocks like this. They call it the City of Rocks. Oh, I see what's going on here. It says Ursa Major Walk-in Campsite 11. So that tent camper up there in the brown tent, that's a walk-in campsite, folks. So the walk-in campsite's up there. This is campsite 12. They're named after, I think, constellations. Pretty cool. That is a campsite. And while not an RV campsite, this campsite 13, you pull your car up right here off of the loop, and then that's a walk-in tent campsite. You gotta admit, for a tent campsite, that's pretty darn cool. That's an RV site off to the left, but that is not a level site. He's got that camper jacked up pretty high. Let's continue on around the loop. Melody was just commenting, she's chatting with that gentleman in the RV, that this reminds her of Alabama Hills. Sorta, kinda. I mean, you don't have Mount Whitney as a backdrop, but these rock formations are pretty neat. You can see there's another RV site up here, and this loop is pretty expansive. I mean, we'll probably have a mile plus just walking the loop. But there are some neat campsites tucked in these rocks. Let's go up and take a closer look at where that Class A's camp. Different scenery than in Arizona for sure. That's an Ocatello off to your left there. And we're seeing a lot more yucca. That's a yucca in the center of your screen. And another Ocatello right here. You wouldn't think you'd run out of time when you're retired to stop and take things in. I mean, we stopped for 3 days here in Deming to check out 2 different state parks. And we're gonna have to come back and just spend a couple months in the state of New Mexico. There's just so much to see. Let's go up here and check this campsite out where the Class A is sitting. So up on the knoll where that Class A was sitting is the Pegasus Campground. It's a separate camping loop, if you will. I'm gonna take a walk around and let's check out some of these campsites. The first few campsites we've seen where the Class A is, that campsite is really wonky. You have a hard time getting your rig level. And the same with this one, site 15. Very wonky, wouldn't get your rig level on that side either. So let's continue around the loop. So Melody was up in there. She wanted to check out those campsites that were wonky. And normally I wouldn't even show you this because you're not going to get your rig level on that side either. That's what, site 16. But what's really neat about this site is check out the picnic table that's squirreled in these rocks back here. My fifth wheel would fit in here, and you do have a nice view. Look at the view you'd have. But I wouldn't get my fifth wheel level. My auto level would not like this site whatsoever. Oh, looks like you got a bear box back here for your food. But if you're tent camping or you have a smaller configuration where you could get your rig level, look how sweet this is. This is pretty darn neat. There's a hiking trail that goes back up in here. Wow. Look how pretty this is. So it is unusual. That's why I'm bringing you back in here. Site number 16, folks. Isn't this neat, huh? So that's site 16 down there by those rocks. But what I want to show you is that trail goes up on that mountain. Evidently that must be Table Mountain, because this is the Table Mountain Trail. So the Pegasus campground was back that way, and the sites were wonky. Big rig friendly, it is not. And the same on the back side of this main camping loop. You can see how steep it is, and you have mostly walk-in tent campsites that are back up in here. But we're going to continue around the loop. If I see any big rig friendly campsites, I'll point them out. So I will give it this. It is scenic. This entire back side of the loop lends itself to small campers, Class Bs. But you have a variety of different scenery, and a lot of these campsites are right up in the rocks. We've seen several casita and Class Bs. There's a Class B squirreled away over in here. This gives you an idea what you're looking at. So far, I haven't run into a single site on the back end that will accommodate a bigger rig. Melody and Mila are walking back to the truck. I'm filming this one here, recording this campsite for the benefit of SUV and tent campers. If you're camping out of your vehicle and you're going to pitch a tent, this wouldn't be a bad campsite here. This is on the back side of that main loop. You park your vehicle down in here, and then you have multi-terrace place. Boy, the wind's kicking up. There's your picnic table. You have a terrace there for a tent. There's your fire ring. They have this stepped up for you so you can walk back up in here. There's another Class B camper way back in there. But you can walk right up in and amongst the rocks here. So there's that campsite, and I know that wind's got to be cracking. But I just wanted to give you a look around. There's all kinds of little crevices in and among these rocks. It truly is a maze when you get back up in here. So if you're tent camping, City of Rocks is someplace interesting that you may want to check out. Let me go back and see if I can get a campsite number for that campsite. So I did find the campsite number. That's Leo Campsite, campsite number 40. It's right off to your left. I found no dump station at City of Rocks State Park. There's a walking trail right behind me that takes you back up into the City of Rocks. I hope you enjoyed this video of City of Rocks State Park in New Mexico. I'll have the upload and download speeds for Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile in the written video description on YouTube. If you like these videos, like and subscribe, and I'll see you down the road.